Hello there, darling. I'm Lubinia, and I am here to tell you all about why vampire blood fantasies aren't really about blood. When people hear vampire blood, they immediately think of violence in many cases, or horror, or something extreme. But if you're actually drawn to vampire blood fantasies, you already know that's not what it's all about. For most people, it's not about pain. It's not about harm. And honestly, it's not even about real blood. Vampire blood fantasy is all about symbolism. It's about being chosen. It's about intention. And something slow, deliberate, and controlled. Nothing chaotic, nothing reckless. Here's what others don't understand. Real blood, it's messy. It's unpredictable. It breaks the illusion. And illusion? It's the entire point. Fantasy works best when it's contained. When it lives in ritual, mood, and atmosphere. That's why so many people who love vampire aesthetics prefer substitutes, symbolism, or visual fantasy instead of anything literal. Because realism actually kills the magic. Vampire stories have rules. The invitation, the pause, the eye contact, the moment of consent. No, nothing is ever rushed. The power doesn't come from the taking. It comes from being allowed. That's what makes it intimate instead of aggressive. A lot of the people who are drawn to the vampire blood imagery are people who crave control in a world that feels chaotic. The fantasy is safe. The desire is focused. The rules are clear. There's comfort in that. And that's why the aesthetic matters so much. The color, the texture, the mood, the pacing. It's sensory, not shocking. That's why gels, visuals, and symbolic blood show up so often in vampire spaces. They let people stay in fantasy without crossing into danger. They keep the experience repeatable, intentional, elegant. For so many people, the moment something becomes too real, it stops being erotic and starts being uncomfortable. Fantasy survives because it isn't literal. At Lube, we pay attention to that line. fantasy over realism, mood over shock, intention over excess. If vampire blood aesthetics speak to you, you're probably someone who understands that desire does not need to be extreme to be powerful. Sometimes the quiet fantasies are the strongest ones. Oh, in the next video, I want to talk to you about why vampire fantasies appeal so strongly to people who don't even consider themselves kinky. And why red specifically has held erotic power across cultures for centuries. If this topic resonates with you, you are not alone. We'll see you in the next video, and make sure to like and subscribe. And check out BloodLust, available on LootLube.com.